So today we're going to be doing I-8-3. So I'm going to have you write all the problems and follow along with me, okay, as we go through. And when you are done, I'm going to have you do the homework here online. So as soon as you show me everything, you are good to start your homework. And then when you're done with that, you will get time on the iPad or some other thing to enhance your learning. So first things first. You already know how to divide. So if I have 3 divided by 462, you know that 3 will go into 4 one time. So 3 times 1 is 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. Then I have to bring down the 6, so it becomes 16. Now you need to ask yourself, how many times will the divisor, which is 3, go into the dividend, which is 16? So 3 will go into 16 5 times. So we put 5 up here because 3 times 5 is 15. So 16 minus 15 gives me 1, and I have to drag down my 2. 3 will go into 12 4 times. 3 times 4 is 12. So 12 minus 12 is 0. So you already know that for whole numbers, you need to divide a dividend by a divisor to find a quotient, as shown over here. So you can find 4 and 62 hundredths divided by 3 by using a math tool.
Let's find 4 and 62 hundredths divided by 3. First, we need to model the dividend 4 and 62 hundredths. Since the dividend shows hundredths, we need to change the value of each small block to 1/100th, or 0.01. Notice that as we change the value, the names of the place values at the top of each column update to match the new place values. To model the dividend, we need to place 4 ones in the ones column, 6 tenths in the tenths column, and 2 hundredths in the hundredths column. Now we need to divide 4 and 62 hundredths into 3 equal groups. First, let's divide the 4 ones into 3 groups by forming 3 rows. We now have 3 groups with 1 left over. Now let's use the hammer to break the remaining 1 into tenths, because there aren't enough 1s left to put another 1 into each row. Notice that once we break a 1, it splits into 10 tenths and moves these tenths into the tenths column. Now we have a total of 16 tenths. Now we can divide the 16 tenths into 3 groups by moving tenths into the 3 rows until there are not enough tenths to put 1 more tenth in each row. We have used 15 tenths, and now 1/10 is left over. Let's use the hammer to break the remaining tenth. Again, notice that once we break the tenth into 10 hundredths, the hundredths move to the next column. There are now 12 hundredths in the hundredths column. Turning off the hammer again, now we need to divide these hundredths into 3 equal groups. We can move hundredths into the 3 rows until there are no more hundredths left. Now all 12 hundredths are divided equally into the 3 groups. That means that each row now contains 1 1, 5 tenths, and 4 hundredths. So 4 and 62 hundredths divided by 3 is 1 and 54 hundredths.
So they're going to want you to use blocks to divide a decimal. So you know that it'll be 3 and 78 hundredths divided by 2. So they're going to have you essentially do this. Now, do we need to do it right now? No, but I wanted you to see the visual of what's going to happen in this previous problem when we're dividing a decimal, what it looks like visually. So if I go into part 2, some of these might need to go into your notes. So how do I divide a decimal without blocks? Hint, hint, this is what we're going to be doing the next few days, so you may want to zone in. So I'm going to hit play. They're going to show us what we need to know.
See, in the last intro, You found that 4 and 62 hundredths divided by 3 is 1 and 54 hundredths. Look how much this division is like dividing 462 by 3.
You can divide a decimal by a whole number by following these steps. Step 1. Find the quotient as if you were dividing with whole numbers. Step 2.
So I'll go ahead and let you write down step 1. Find the quotient as if you were dividing by whole numbers. So you'll see on the left that they do the same thing and pretend like there's no decimal in there. I said to do that also with multiplication because just like multiplication, you don't really need to do anything until the last step. So step 1, find the quotient as if dividing by whole numbers. When you're done with that, go ahead and write step 2. Locate the decimal point in the quotient. So you find the decimals right here, and what you're going to do is just drag your decimal straight up. Okay, so I slide it up. Instead of cha-cha sliding to the left like multiplication, you just slide it straight up.
Locate the decimal point in the quotient. You can find 4 and 96 hundredths divided by 8 using these two steps. Start by solving the problem just like you would with whole numbers. So, 496 divided by 8 equals 62. The decimal point is between the 4 and the 9 in the dividend. The problem 496 hundredths divided by 8 also has a 6 and a 2 in the answer, but we need to place the decimal point. When dividing a decimal by a whole number, the decimal point in the quotient goes directly above the decimal point in the dividend.
Essentially, all you need to do is look and see, okay, the decimal's here, I'm going to drag it straight on up.
So, the decimal point is placed before the 6 in this case. Decimals like 62 hundredths are written with a leading 0. The answer to 4 and 96 hundredths divided by 8 is 62 hundredths.
Okay, so just like over here, 8 does not go into 4, but 8 does go into 49. 6 times 8 is 48. 49 minus 48 is 1. Bring down my 6. 8 goes into 16 twice. 8 times 2 is 16, so they subtract 16. 16 minus 16 is 0. Okay, same thing over here, but when you have the decimal, notice it's the same numbers. They just drag this decimal straight up. So let's try this one. Okay, 7 does not go into 5, so they put 0. Now if I drag my decimal straight on up, I know that my decimal must go here. They want to know, how many times does 7 go into 52? Well, I know 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 8, no, that's too much. Must be 7 times 7. So then you're going to subtract 7 times 7, which is 49. So please put this in your notes. 52 minus 49 gives me an answer of 3. And now I need to drag down my 5. Well, 7 times what number equals 35? 7 times 5 equals 35. So I know I need to subtract 35. So my answer is 75 hundredths. Make sure it's in your notes. If you need to, go ahead and pause. Let's try this. Go ahead and try this problem on your notes, and when you have the answer, I want you to put a star next to it. So ask yourself, how many times does 9 go into 6? Okay, bring up your decimal. How many times does 9 go into 65? Okay, go ahead and solve that. When you have the answer, put a star next to it, and go ahead and move on to part 3.
You and 3 team members need to score a total of 35 and 64 hundredths points at a gymnastic meet to beat your rival. How many points do you need per person? Move to the next screen to solve.
So, you and your 3 team members, so 3 team members we know is a key word, need to score a total of 35 and 64/100ths point at a gymnastic meet to beat your rival. How many points do you need per person? So we know that the total we need is 35.64. We need to divide that by how many people? Well, I go up here, 3. And that number will equal how many points? Oh, just kidding. What did I do wrong? Okay, if I have 3 people on my team and myself, 3 plus 1 is 4. So there's a total of 4 people on my team. So now, go ahead and do this on your paper. If I have 35, whew, that was bad. 35.64, do it with me, divided by 4. 4 will go into 35 how many times? Well, I know 4 times 10 is too much. That's 40. 4 times 9 is 36. So 4 times 8 is 32. Three minus 3 is 0. 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay, I'm going to bring my decimal straight up so I don't forget. Now, I need to bring down my 6. So 4 goes into 36 how many times? 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 9 is 36. Bring down my 4. How many times does 4 go into 4? Once. So I know then that my answer, or my quotient, is 8.91. Okay, if you're confused, call me over or go ahead and freeze your screen and rewind so that we can rewatch it. And let's try this next problem. For this last got it, I'm going to have you solve it by yourself, put a star next to it on your paper, and call me over when you are done. I will then dismiss you to start your homework as soon as I see this on your notes correctly identified. So, the problem states, you have 20 and 56/100ths minutes of space left on a CD. What must be the length of each song for 8 songs to fit? So think, okay, what's my total and what am I dividing it into? Again, go ahead and solve it. When you are done, call me over and I will let you start your homework if this is correct.